Hey wild children! My name is Hannah and I work for Sierra Club running the Wild Child program, and today it's a beautiful day, and so I'm up here at North Cape hiking trail, and I just wanted to take a nature walk to show you what the trails look like here in case you and your family wanted to come for a walk. I found a cool little wetland here. Under all this grass it's actually pretty wet, and I bet you if I came at dusk I'd be able to hear frogs. I bet you there's some frogs or salamanders that live in this little wetland here. One of my favorite things to do on a nature walk is to look for clues that tell me more about what's going on in the environment. You can see these trees. There's not very much vegetation or leaves on this side of the trees, and all of their leaves seem to be on this side. And I think that that is a clue, because I've seen a couple trees in a row that are all like this, where there's not much going on one side and all of the leaves are on the other side. And I think it has to do with the wind, that the wind is coming from this direction going this way. And I think that that's really cool when you can look at how the vegetation is growing and how the plants are growing, and that tells you things about like the wind or what the soil quality is like, all sorts of things. Oh, I just found a lookout. I love lookouts. It's so much fun to see what you get to see when you're at the top. And wow, that is gorgeous. So there's a sign up here talking about Irish moss, which is a really cool kind of red seaweed that's harvested here on the island, especially up here west. That's actually harvested with horses in the water, which is really neat. And it's an important seaweed, both for the ecosystem, but also for the people who harvest and sell it, because it has something in it called carrageenan. So carrageenan is a thickening agent, kind of like gelatin in Jell-O. Have you ever made Jell-O before? Well, carrageenan is kind of like that, but it's made from seaweed instead of an animal product. And it's used in a lot of different products, such as dairy products, desserts, soups, and a lot of beauty products such as toothpaste. So if you look at your toothpaste and you look at your milk and yogurt and sour cream and shampoo, you might look at the back, and it's usually, they have all of the ingredients listed. And it usually includes a lot of words that I don't really know what they are. But if you look for the word carrageenan, then that tells you that there's actually red seaweed in it that is used to thicken it. So that's pretty cool. Hey wild children, I'm whispering because I just found a rabbit on the trail. Do you see it? I think that she's eating some of the grass. She's very cute and very large. Hi rabbit. Whenever you encounter wildlife, whether it's a fox or a rabbit or a bird, it's important to give them lots of space because they're still a wild animal. And it's really important that wild animals are still a little bit scared of humans because it helps protect them. And they're really good at taking care of themselves and getting enough food to survive. Bye, rabbit. I just found another nature clue, which is scat, which is just another word for animal poop. So this might gross some of you out, but you can learn a lot about what kind of animals are around by checking out what kind of scat is around. So the scat that I just found is quite old, so we know that it's not recent, but it has animal fur in it, which means that it was probably brought here by an animal that eats other animals, which we call a carnivore, which is a pretty big word, carnivore, opposed to animals that only eat plants that are called herbivores. So it looks like a fairly large animal that eats other animals, carnivore. So I'm guessing maybe a fox, or if there's coyotes in this area, maybe a coyote. But it's very important that if you ever do find animal scat that you do not touch it, because you don't want to be getting diseases from any animals, and that is possible. So if you ever find animal scat, you can look, but do not touch. Wow, we are so lucky. I just came to the end of the trail and it's this gorgeous bog. And I must say I like wetlands and bogs are one of my favorite habitats or ecosystems to be in. and there is so much incredible plants here. So it's really important when you're at a bog to stay on the boardwalk, because bogs take a really long time to grow, and any disturbance that you make will last a long time. But I just sat down on the boardwalk and I found sphagnum moss, a pitcher plant, bog cranberry, and Labrador tea. And it's also important that we don't pick anything, because if we all came here and picked things, then there wouldn't be much left. But those are all really incredible plants. Pitcher plants are actually carnivorous, so they actually eat insects, like flies and stuff will fly into them, and then they'll get stuck in the sticky pitcher plant, and the sticky pitcher plant will actually ingest it for nutrients. And sphagnum moss is an incredible moss that's really, really absorbent, and actually has been used in the past for absorbing things like a baby's diaper, for example. And bog cranberries are a wonderful edible, and Labrador tea is a very important and lovely tea. So what a wonderful thing to have on PEI. This is a really incredible spot. So thank you so much for joining me on this nature hike at North Cape. We got to go through a lot of different ecosystems and habitats. We saw windmills and coastline, fields, forest, bog. We even got to see a rabbit and an insect-eating plant. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you don't already live in the area, it's definitely worth the drive. Thank you for watching, and remember to take care of yourself, take care of others, and take care of nature. Bye!